Okay, the antenna works. So this is a 96 Corvette. I replaced the antenna mast with a new replacement mast. And I'm making this video because the instructions that came with it are so terrible that a lot of people, I think, are probably having a hard time replacing these. It comes with this little wrench here that you remove the nut. That's pretty self-explanatory. This goes down over the mast like this, and then when it gets to the bottom you use a open-end wrench on here and you take off the nut that's down there. That's self-explanatory. That's the first step. You take off that first nut. The problem is coming in where you then have to take this mast out of the car, and the instructions say right here, do not manually pull up the antenna by hand, and you have to, or else it's not going to come out. I was having trouble with it, so I don't know why I did this, but I decided it'd be best to cut this antenna off with a hacksaw. Don't do that. That's not a good idea. It didn't really hurt me, but it's not necessary. So when I did cut this off, then I was basically left with this sticking out of the car, just that little bit, just like that. And the harder you pull on this, it wasn't coming out of the antenna motor. And here's the trick. Okay, I had a pair of pliers on here. You can see I smushed this. That's, again, not really necessary, but I had a pair of pliers on there, and I was pulling up with steady pressure, and that is the wrong thing to do, because what happens is the antenna motor is held on there with some, I guess, flimsy brackets, and the more steady pressure you give it, the more of the antenna motor assembly comes out of the hole, which you don't really want that to happen. So I found, what I did was, I have this slide hammer. You can probably rent them, or you can go buy one because they are handy. So this is what I had sticking out of the car, and this is the spring clip that they talk about in the instructions. And you see this thing probably slips down in there and those barbs catch, and that's why you can't get it out. And there's that little bit there is a lip that catches it, so that's why it's not coming out of the car. And I was thinking of all different ways to release it, but this is what actually worked. So I got my slide hammer, and my slide hammer has a really neat attachment where you can attach a pair of vice grips to it. But if yours doesn't have that, you can do some variation of this. So basically, this is sticking out of the car. This is a very long video to explain something very short. Clip this on here like so. Okay, now this was in the car, and then what I did was one yank up, and it came right out. It came right out of the car, just like that. So if you don't have a slide hammer, maybe a pair of vice grips and whack it with a hammer or something like that. But you need to, instead of slow, steady pressure, you got to give it a sharp blow, and that'll make it come out. And this is for a 96 Corvette. I don't know what the other years might be, but if you can't get it out, maybe that's what you should try. Some sharp, steady pressure. Like I said, these instructions are terrible. It's talking about using this spring clip over again. My kit came with a spring clip, so I don't know what that was all about. When you insert the new one, this has gear teeth on it that engage your motor, and those gear teeth have to go towards the driver's side. It never really says in the instructions which side they go on. So you just aim it in like this with the gear teeth towards the driver's side, have an assistant turn the radio off, and then it'll just suck it in. And it won't suck it in all the way the first time. You have to get your assistant to turn it on and off a couple times, and each time it goes lower and lower until it gets to the right position. And then when it's all said and done, you take your new spring clip, slip it down over, click it into place, and you're done. And that's what it looks like. Thanks for watching.